from the 14. On the run. He's going to have to throw in the end zone. Throw it on, and touchdown! Sterling Sharp! He caught it! McCaskey with some pressure on a quarterback draw, and he's got a first down and a touchdown. Kick is on the way. The kick is good. He made it. He made it. He made it. The Packers win.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's an interdivision battle between the playoff hopeful Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. And for the Packers, it's really fairly simple. They must win today, and a loss by either the Eagles or the Rams will have the Packers in the playoffs for the first time in a non-strike season in 17 years. Now, the other road to the playoffs goes through Minnesota tomorrow night, where if the Vikings lose, the Packers will capture the NFC Central Division title. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown, and the happiest of holiday seasons to you. Well, Cinderella had her slipper, but the Green Bay Packers have had a string of luck involving one-point games. 4 single-digit victories have spelled the difference between just a so-so season and a record that now has them knocking hard at the playoff door. Dallas, on the other hand, they've gone from America's team to the worst team. They are now at rock bottom. A record last year of 3-13 and now only 1-14. They're just hoping that the season gets over quickly. My partner, as he's been all season long, the former Oakland Raiders great Ken Stabler. And Snake, is there anything positive that the Cowboys can get out of this season?
James, I think just the fact of having a year under the belt of Jimmy Johnson and his staff and the players will be a positive situation. Of course, it's the last week of the evaluation process, which Jimmy Johnson has done by alternating players by quarter, first and third, second and fourth quarters. And of course, the evaluation process has been one that has been year-long since training camp has broken. They've had 24 different players in here. It's been like a year-long mini camp, so to speak. I think the brightest spot out of the year has been Troy Aikman and his development. After early season injury, has come on in the second half to play very, very well, and looks like he's going to be the franchise player that they expected.
Certainly has been a different story for the Green Bay Packers, a turnaround year, if you will. They were 4-12 last year. They're now 9-6. 3 players just this week named to the Pro Bowl. And, of course, their second-year coach, Lindy Infante, is a serious contender for Coach of the Year honors. And, Snake, he probably could run successfully for the mayor of Green Bay.
No doubt. There's 3 people that make it happen on offense that everybody knows, of course. Don McCaskey makes it happen on offense, along with Sterling Sharp. Keith Woodside. On the defensive side of the ball, everybody knows about Tim Harris. There's one thing that Lindy Infante has tried to remind his team of this week, is that the Cowboys are now in a position very similar to what Green Bay was last year when they upset Minnesota to knock them out of divisional title. They can hardly afford to let the Cowboys play spoiler today.
It is indeed cold here in Dallas, but 35 degrees today, actually kind of balmy compared to earlier in the week when temperatures were hovering around 0 and in the low teens. Cowboys had to drastically modify their practice schedule because they do not have an indoor practice facility. Dallas has won the coin toss and will receive Chris Jackie. Will be kicking off for the Packers. And back deep for the Cowboys, James Dixon and Derek Shepard. Packers lead this series 9-5. Won the last meeting 31-13, and we're underway here. And Shepard from the 5. And Derek Shepard with a good return across the 31, stopped by Tiger Green. Troy Aikman, as Ken Stabler mentioned, one of the bright spots, perhaps the brightest spot of the Dallas Cowboys. Better since he came back from that wrist injury. Last 5 games looking awfully impressive. And the offensive line, Mark Tuanay, Nate Newton, Mark Stepnowski, Crawford Kerr, Kevin Gogan, and Steve Folsom at tight end. Backs and receivers, Sargent, Johnston, Derek Shepard, James Dixon, Bernard Ford, and Cornell Burbage will be in on obvious passing situations. And the handoff to Johnston. And Johnston bullying ahead for about 2 yards on the carry. Stopped by a horde of Packers. And that defense of Green Bay, Blaze Winter, Bob Nelson, and Robert Brown. Linebacking core, John Anderson back in the starting lineup after missing last week with a sore ankle. Brian Noble, Johnny Holland, Tim Harris, Pro Bowler this year, starter. And the secondary, Mark Lee, veteran, as well as Dave Brown, 15 years. Ken Stills and Mark Murphy at the safeties. Chuck Cecil and Tiger Green will be in on the nickel and dime defensive packages. 2nd and 8. Inside handoff for no gain. Roderick Sargent. Give him maybe 1. Snake a little surprised in that Paul Palmer, an explosive, diminutive back, not playing at all. He's inactive for the Cowboys today. Jimmy Johnson likes the big backs.
Came in and made an immediate impact with the Cowboys. Had a 100-yard game against the Washington Redskins, the one that they did win 13-3. But Jimmy Johnson has elected to go with, as you say, the big back group of Sargent and Johnston. Look for Tim Harris to move all over the field today, James. Rush the passer from a lot of different positions.
Taken out of the shotgun on 3rd and 7. Going up for Shepard and nearly intercepted that time by Tiger Green. So good defensive coverage by the Packers. 3 down and out.
Well, there's one thing that the Packers have really improved upon the last several seasons, and that is getting more pressure on the passer, thanks to Tim Green, thanks to moving him, Tim Harris, I'm sorry, moving him all over the place, finding a matchup that they want, and he's applied pressure to everybody.
Mike Saxon on the punt for the Cowboys. Had one blocked last week by the Giants. As a matter of fact, the last 2 games he's had his punts, had a punt block. And Jeff Query back deep for the Packers. Saxon shanks this one off the right side of his foot and barely makes it across midfield. So the Packers will start with excellent field position on only a 20-yard punt.
Well, it's just simply a bad punt right here, James. Looks like one of my short irons. All he does is shank it off the side of his foot. See, it takes an immediate right angle and out of bounds about the 50-yard line, and you give Don Mikowski and company that kind of field position, you're asking for trouble early. No pressure, plenty of time, no pressure from either side, just shanks it.
Ball at the 46 for the Pack. First series for Green Bay and Don Mikowski. Brent Fullwood, the lone back. 3 wide receiver set. This is Fullwood, and Fullwood met hard and driven back by Eugene Lockhart. And Snake Lockhart has had a Pro Bowl year. We'll talk more about that, but he did not get selected.
Well, there's no doubt. Anytime you have over 200 tackles, as Lockhart did this year, you would expect to make the Pro Bowl. He, on the defensive side of the ball, has been the real bright spot for the Cowboys, as Aikman has on the offensive side.
So a loss of 1 on that play as Eugene Lockhart probably venting some of his frustration for not being selected as a Pro Bowler. 2nd and 11. And Jeff Cope looks to jump offside as a flag is dropped. Fullwood across midfield to about the 47 of Dallas. Eugene Lockhart again all over the field on the stop, but Jim Jeffcoat looked to have been offsides. The Dallas 48-yard line.
Offsides, 77 defense, 2nd down.
Jim Jeffcoat trying to get the jump, trying to get that very quick start to get the heat on the passer.
Don Mikowski, Pro Bowler himself, leading the charge for the Packers, having just an outstanding year. Many say the best quarterback east of Joe Montana. And the offensive line, Rutgers, Moran, Bush, Halstrom, Weingrad, Ed West back as a starter, slight injury. Woodside, Fullwood, the backs, Sharp and Kemp, the wide receivers. Query and Matthews in on obvious passing situations. 2nd and 6 for Green Bay. 3 wide receiver set. Looking for Perry Kemp, and throws it low and behind him. So that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Mikowski rushed that pass a little bit. You know, he had time. He's not getting the pressure that would make him throw the ball, release the ball that soon. Just get back, sit. Watch this right here. You're going to see him get back. There's no pressure from the right or the left. They've got the middle sealed off well. He releases the ball a little premature. Let Perry Kemp, number 81, come out of his move and then nail him with it.
6 defensive backs in for the Cowboys on 3rd and 6 for the Packers. Mikowski going up top. And caught by Perry Kemp. Touchdown, Green Bay. There is a penalty flag.
I think they're going to rule him down, JB. I think he was touched while he was on about the 10-yard line. No flag. I think they're going to rule him down.
Well, a 39-yard pass played nonetheless, and a smart move on the part of Kemp to go ahead and take it into the end zone.
Absolutely. Get up and run. Here you see Mikowski. He looks things over. He's got him spread out across the field. He's got man-to-man all the way across. Elects to throw the ball out to Kemp. It looks like if they have the ball picked off, Ray Horton looks like he has a bead on it. Kemp comes up with a great catch in there in good position.
Kemp may also have a good argument. I mean, it didn't look like he was touched when he hit the ground, so the Packers will try and go at him again to the end zone as Fullwood is dropped by Ken Norton. And speaking of the Cowboys defense, playing well the last 5 or 6 ball games. Danny Noonan, Dean Hamill from the Washington Redskins, Willie Broughton, and Jim Jeffcoat. Linebacking core, anchored by Eugene Lockhart, flanked by Jack Del Rio and Ken Norton, who's also playing impressively. And a secondary, Manny Hendricks, Ron Francis, safeties, Ray Horton, Vince Albritton, Bill Bates, and Everson Walls will come in on the nickel and dime situations. Everson Walls, a long-time starting cornerback, backup free safety now. Mikowski, complete to Woodside, inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line.
Manny Hendricks on the stop for the Cowboys. Inside the 5.
Giants ahead of the Raiders, and of course a Giant victory today will give them the NFC East Division crown. Steelers still in the wild card hunt, leading Tampa Bay by a touchdown.
Keith Woodside on the reception there, James, and you'll see a lot of that. He needs only a few more receptions, I think 10 or so, to break the receiving record for Green Bay for running backs. You will see them split him out both sides, also running the ball from the backfield.
3rd and 3. Mikowski dropped by Jeffcoat. Sack number 1 by Jeffcoat, 26 on the year for the Cowboys.
Well, you see Jeffcoat working on Rutgers, number 75. It looks like he gives him a bull rush, which is a real power rush right in his face. Gets him off balance, runs over Rutgers, and gets Mikowski for the sack.
So the Packers will settle for a field goal attempt. This will be a 28-yarder by Chris Jackie. And it's good. So Chris Jackie boots the Packers on the scoreboard first. They lead it here in the first quarter, 3-0. Earlier today, the Cowboys admitted at gate number 5, 10,000 less fortunate Cowboy fans. The Cowboys organization gave out 10,000 tickets through various organizations here in the Dallas area and have 10,000 extra voices here cheering on.
You bet. A Merry Christmas to some less fortunate kids.
Chris Jackie has kicked here in Texas Stadium before. Was a football player at UTEP, University of Texas at El Paso. Played SMU here, so he's familiar with the environs here.
Got a whole gang of family here today to watch him too.
And this one's going to be just a little short at about the 8-yard line by Derek Shepard. And Shepard, hard running indeed, up to about the 34-yard line. Stopped by Scott Stevens.
You know, we talked at the top, JB, about how well that Troy Aikman had developed in the second half, and he's really been behind the 8 ball, so to speak. He's had his injured receivers. Irving, his fine ride receiver, has been injured. Of course, both receivers injured. The backfield situation, they don't have that big breakaway back. They've had some nicks at the offensive line, an unproductive tight end situation. So his development has come under some tough situations.
Best 2 receivers home injured, Kelvin Martin and Michael Irvin. Aikman complete to the side on the 3 wide receiver set for a 5-yard gain. That one to James Dixon. Dixon's having himself a pretty decent year, averaging 20.5 yards per catch, which is the highest since Tony Hill's 20.7 average, that occurring back in 1981. Second and 5 as you take a look at Jimmy Johnson, and the only bright spot, he says, non-player-wise for the Cowboys is that they've survived this season. Aikman decides to run it as the first down, pushed out of bounds by Johnny Holland at the 47-yard line. So an 8-yard scramble by Troy Aikman gives the Cowboys the first down.
What allows Aikman to do this right here, JB, is the fact that right here the defensive end, Blaze Winter, number 68, loses containment during his pass rush. Right here, watch Winter, number 68. He has containment. He has outside. You see him get forced into the outside right there. Gives Aikman the opportunity to get outside for a nice gain. You've got to contain these good running quarterbacks like Aikman.
Snake, believe it or not, he's been the leading rusher for the past 5 weeks for the Cowboys. Needs only 70 yards more to pass the Cowboys' all-time leader, Roger Staubach.
Well, I think that tells you something when your quarterback is the second leading rusher.
Darrell Johnston bullying ahead for a 3-yard gain up near midfield. No doubt about it that Aikman and Mikowski, 2 of the better running quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Both those guys run for positive yardage, and of course Randall Cunningham is the best known of the group for his running ability. Then Mikowski, you see right there, and of course Troy Aikman. When your quarterback is the leading rusher, as you said, in the last 3 or 4 games, that does tell you something about your running game.
Second and 7, 3 wide receiver set. Lone back is Darrell Johnston. Aikman complete to Burbage. And Burbage is still going to be about 4 yards shy of that first down marker. Boy, and the Packers loving this. Packer fans, Phoenix leading 7-0. And of course, if the Eagles lose, that helps tremendously the Packers, because they'll be in. And that, of course, is assuming a Packer victory today.
You bet. This team has really played extremely well in the last 4 or 5 games. Mikowski establishing himself as maybe one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Obviously a Pro Bowl selection. And of course, Aikman developing extremely fast as a rookie.
3rd and 4, 4 wide receiver set. Aikman complete for the first down to Shepard inside the 30 of Green Bay. Now, the one thing the Packers said they were going to look out for coming into the game today is that they played the part of spoiler last year with a bad record of 2-12. They've got to watch out today for the Cowboys.
You have to be careful with the spoiler team. Here's a situation right here in the slot, man-to-man coverage, crossing routes on short yardage, 3rd and 3 against man-to-man. There it is, right across the middle. Aikman does a nice job of spotting, reading the man-to-man coverage, and getting the ball, of course, to Burbage for the first down.
Gain of 20 on a play. Packers on top, 3-0. 6:23 remaining in the first quarter. Dallas down to the 27 of Green Bay. Johnston, the ball carrier, inside the 25. Gain of about 2 on the play.
First contact made by number 7.
Well, Tim Harris, as we said at the top, you're going to see him in a lot of different positions today. Here he's on a down type position, taking on the tight end. Tight end does a nice job of getting into him, screening him out off of the play. But look for Tim Harris to line up over the center, over both tackles, all over the field to get the matchup that he wants. They give him a lot of room to free lanes.
One of the quieter players in the league, huh? 2nd and 8. Aikman back to pass. Complete to Burbage. And Burbage looks to have enough for the first down. He'll be close. No question about it that all the players you talk to really respect Troy Aikman and that arm and his intelligence.
His intelligence, his arm, and his toughness, too. We had the Cowboys early this year out in Phoenix, and Troy Aikman just took some terrific hits, gets up and keeps throwing the ball, and I think it's only a matter of time when that young man right there gets the experience that he needs, and, of course, when Coach Jimmy Johnson surrounds him with the talent that they need via a lot of nice draft picks that they have coming in next year. I think the Cowboys are in a situation where they can build something.
And it's enough for the first down. Referee Tom Dooley today, veteran official.
Well, you take Harris, and when you're on offense, the first thing you do is find out where is Tim Harris located. There you see Tuanay working on him. He gets some help from Nate Newton on a double-team type situation, and it takes 2 or 3 guys to contain that guy right there. Impact player, 18.5 sacks this year, Pro Bowl season.
Playing on a tender ankle, right ankle. And 1st and 10, Johnston hit hard. A gain of 1. Did he lose the ball? Packers trying to claim it, but it looks like he still has it. Good penetration that time by the Packer defense.
Well, Johnson's going to hit up in there, the big back type that Jimmy Johnson likes. Here you see the end of the play, and looks like the ball is out, or his knee is down by the time that the ball comes out. And, of course, Tim Harris is not going to agree with that.
Boy, what a wicked hit applied by Chuck Cecil.
Chuck Cecil coming back from hamstring injury earlier in the year, coming in and playing tough safety.
2nd and 10. Johnston. Good gain on the play down to the 10-yard line, a 6-yard run. And, Snake, this is the area of the field where the Packer defense has a little trouble.
They have had problems down inside the 20-yard line, keeping the opposing team out of the end zone. Here you're going to see a situation. They run the Washington tray. There you see the right tackle. You're going to see Kevin Gogan is going to pull, lead Johnson up into the hole. If they can get some running game going to take a little pressure off of Troy Aikman, they can make it a long day for the Pack.
Good job by the left side of that line. 3rd and 4. Herbert, the lead man. Aikman this time has it batted down and comes back to Aikman. So good alert play by the Packers defense. Brings up a 4th down.
Well, the pressure you get on a quarterback that causes him the most problems is pressure in the middle. There you see Noble, number 91, getting pressure in the middle. You're going to see 79, Bob Nelson, gets his hand up. That pressure in the middle does not allow Troy Aikman to step up where he can see things. You can't see, you're in problems.
Actually, the ball hit the back of his own man. Luis Zendejas on to attempt a 41-yard field goal. And it's good. So Luis Zendejas boots the Cowboys into a 3-3 tie with 2:48 remaining in the first. It's been the battle of the field goal kickers thus far in the first quarter. Green Bay and Dallas all tied up at 3 apiece, and Lindy Infante, as you take a look at him, many of the players indicated it took a while to get adjusted to his system, but one thing not taking long to get adjusted to, his communication style. Certainly a Coach of the Year candidate, as we mentioned at the top of the show, but the players really like him, and Snake, a lot of that is because he does communicate with them.
I think the open line of communication is what they really like, JB. He has established an executive committee of several different players that go in and meet with him on a weekly basis and air their differences and say what they need in the locker room and what the players are feeling. And I think that open line of communication is one thing that contributes to the success of this team.
Certainly that open line of communication was very important the first year when he took over, and I'm sure you had some worried veterans.
You bet. They came in, and he has cleared the air with that executive committee, with being able to communicate with the players. Then, of course, an extra year with this complicated system of his has also helped.
Vince Workman across the 20 up to about the 25-yard line for the Packers, and Don McCalsey getting last-minute instructions from Lindy Infante, heading out for the next series for the Packers. Jimmy Johnson certainly just a little different from all that we get from the players and from what we've been reading, some players very, very comfortable with him. Others, particularly a lot of veterans, not so comfortable.
Seems to be that the young players see the light at the end of the tunnel and they like him. And I think that they think that being here as a young player, that is something to grow with. On the other hand, the veteran players, guys like Everson Walls, are a little bit in the dark about their future with this ball club.
Indeed, today's game may be the finale for a number of the veterans. Ed Jones may be one of them. Everson Walls, Tom Rafferty. Mikowski has the ball knocked loose. And it looks like the Packers will come up lucky and get the ball back as it goes out of bounds. So Mikowski, who so many times has escaped trouble because of his quick feet, that time was caught.
Well, the ball is bounced right for the Don Mikowski and the Packers all year long, and no exception here. The ball bounces out of bounds for them. They retain possession. This young man has fumbled an awful lot. Here's one of the reasons why. He is such a terrific athlete that he runs around with the ball. He has the ball out in an area where he can release the ball very quickly and throw the ball. As a result,
that went out of bounds forward. It comes back, belongs to the offensive team at the spot of the fumble. Second down.
Well, that being the case, it's a loss of 7 on the play. Jim Jeffcoat really has received a lot of praise from Dave Wannstedt, the defensive coordinator. Jeffcoat, Ken Norton, and of course Eugene Lockhart. That defense is really starting to rise.
I think anytime you get a group of people together, the more that they play together, the more that they're in there, the better they're going to get. I think that's going to be the case with this young Cowboy team.
2nd and 17, 3 wide receiver setting for the Packers. Mikowski waited to the last possible moment and took a wicked hit from Bill Bates.
Well, one of the more popular players here in Dallas is Bill Bates. He established himself as a really tough player on special teams a few years ago. Comes in passing type situations, plays in the middle of the field as safety. Here you see Mikowski moving around, using that athletic ability to buy some time, but you can't give Bill Bates that much time once he sets his sights on you.
And Mikowski really didn't take as wicked a hit as he could have. He slightly turned that shoulder to try to lessen some of that impact, but Mikowski, one tough cookie. 3rd and 15. 1:19 remaining in the first quarter. And Mikowski throws this one away in the direction of Sterling Sharp. But the Dallas defense does a good job coverage-wise, and the Packers will have to punt it away. Isaac Hope was providing the coverage.
You're right, James. Very good job in the secondary. Call that a coverage deal right there. No place to go with the ball. Mikowski wisely throws the ball away.
Randall Cunningham with a 14-yard run, tying things up against Phoenix, and the Giants and Raiders knotted up at 7 apiece. Don Bracken on to punt for the Packers. Derek Shepard back deep for the Cowboys. And Bracken does a good job of pushing Shepard back to the 35. Flag on the play. And Shepard fights his way up to about the 49-yard line, tackled by Mark Murphy, the veteran for the Packers. But there is a flag on the play. And this will go against the Cowboys. It was a 45-yard punt by Bracken and a 13-yard return by Shepard.
We have an illegal block in the back by number 38 on the receiving team during the run back. First down.
Well, here it is. You're going to see it right here, JB. It's going to be on Francis right there on number 28, on pitch number 28 for Green Bay, blocking him from behind.
Chilly afternoon here in Dallas, Texas. Low-scoring ball game, 3-3. 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And Snake, no matter how bad things have gone for Dallas, it really is important for job security to play well.
No doubt. You see Jim Jeffcoat sitting there with Randy Noonan, the defensive people, Broughton, number 79, sitting there. And Jeffcoat has come on really strong in the second half of the season. Only 1 sack, I think, the first 8 games. And in the last 6 or 7 games, he has 7 or 8 sacks, for a total of about 8 sacks. And looks like he may be one of the veteran players that's going to establish himself here with the Cowboys. Their defense has played well in the second half, especially the last 5 or 6 games. They've shut people down as far as the run is concerned, and most defensive coordinators say that's what you have to do first, stop the run.
And Tom Dooley looks to be doing a little housekeeping down there as they stop the action before the play gets started. There's Leo Miles talking to Tom Dooley, head linesman.
The spot of the flag was on the 44-yard line. 10-yard penalty.
Well, okay, Tom.
We appreciate them for letting us in.
First and 10 from the 34-yard line.
So the ball's moved up 2 yards in the line of scrimmage, from the line of scrimmage, and this is first down, Johnston. And Johnston really running hard up to about the 39-yard line, a 5-yard gain. Coming to you from Texas Stadium here in Irving, Texas. James Brown along with Ken Stabler. First quarter action. Tie ball game at 3-3, and the Packers certainly have to get things established and started quickly as opposed to giving Dallas any kind of life.
That's usually the case with teams that are down. A 1-14 team, you give them life and you let them think that they can win, then you've got your hands full. You've got to go out and take care of business initially and set the table.
On 2nd and 5, Aikman back to pass. Throws it complete for the first down across midfield. And Dallas on the march, Steve Folsom. And Jimmy Johnson had been a little down about his tight ends, and Folsom, of course, trying to show him that he can do the job. And the Cowboys on the march. That's the end of the first quarter. Score is tied at 3 apiece. We'll be back in just a moment. Beginning of the second quarter here, all tied at 3 apiece, and if any team doesn't need the heating element there, it certainly is the Packers.
Well, the Packers this week, their practice schedule was altered some. Practiced inside. It was 57 below. The old factor of 67, 57 below this week in Green Bay. And if anybody is used to the elements, if there's such a thing as being accustomed to extremely cold weather, of course, it would be Green Bay.
Packers practiced indoors all week, but they had the doors open. Roderick Sargent on first down. Running ahead for 2 yards. We'll bring up a 2nd and 8.
Probably for running purposes now, James, they have brought in a second tight end. They've got Keith Jennings, number 84, is now in. A lot of times ball clubs offensively will use 2 tight ends to help secure the corners, to keep a guy like Scott Stephen or a guy like Tim Harris from getting a free run at your quarterback.
Jimmy Johnson certainly has shown a penchant for the big back. Certainly that is the case with Darrell Johnston, and Roderick Sargent, although not very tall and only 5'11", still 220 pounds. 2nd and 8. Jennings in the slot. Play action. Aikman trying to buy more time, and it's complete to Sargent. And Roderick Sargent down to about the 41-yard line, tackled by Johnny Holland, a gain of 6 on the play.
James, a real nice job of Green Bay giving Aikman a double zone type look. 2 deep help. Watch these safeties run to the outside, zone here, forces Aikman to dump the ball off over in the flat area. A double zone. See those safeties running deep? The 2 corners play the short zone. Forces Aikman right now, once he gets the time by scrambling, to have to dump the ball off to Sargent right there. Nice job of coverage with a double zone by Green Bay.
Brings up a 3rd and 2 situation. Ron Pitts and Tiger Green, the extra DBs, in for the Packers. Aikman throws it complete for the first down to Cornell Burbage. So Cornell Burbage comes up with the sure hands. And the Cowboys on the march. One of the reasons that Roderick Sargent is in play now is that Darrell Johnston left the game just a few plays ago with a hyperextended knee. He's in the locker room being examined, and we'll pass along the report to you as soon as we get it from the field.
Green Bay is giving Dallas a steady diet of zones. They're going to make Aikman be patient. They're going to make him take those little short things, as he did then to Burbage, as he dumped off to Sargent. They're going to make him be very, very patient.
Part of the air of suspicion around the Cowboys, as you take a look at Jimmy Johnson, players like Paul Palmer, an explosive back who has done relatively well here, needed 54 more yards, Kenny, to reach the 500-yard mark, and he's inactive today. But that accomplishment would have meant something to him.
Well, it would have meant something to him. He had a clause in his contract that says with 500 yards, he gets an incentive bonus. He gets a certain amount of money based on 500 yards. All of a sudden, he's here and he's inactive and raises his eyebrows, of course.
Troy Aikman, very accurate thus far, 8 of 9. Throws on the run complete to Keith Jennings. Keith Jennings, the brother of Stanford Jennings, of course, who plays for the Cincinnati Bengals, rookie out of Clemson.
Well, Stanford Jennings come in as a second tight end, and here Winter loses containment. There's the fake, makes Winter come inside. Number 68 of the pack comes inside, lets Aikman get outside, and then, of course, there's Keith Jennings on the outside for the reception.
Second and 7. Sargent alone back. Handoff to Sargent. And Sargent running hard down to the 30-yard line. 6-yard run by Broderick Sargent, and getting some good blocking up front by Crawford Kerr and Mark Stepnoski.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited.
3rd and 1 for the Cowboys. And Nelson, Bob Nelson, drawn off sides and made contact. So the Cowboys will certainly benefit from that.
Encroachment, 79, defense, first down.
Boy, you talk about encroachment. Take a look at Bob Nelson.
Well, he's up there really close, and that's to try to get to center, try to hold up the center, try to get some penetration, and in trying to do that, of course, they get Bob Nelson to jump.
The guy he's up nudging close, of course, is Mark Stepnoski, who was a guard in college and has been moved over to the center position. Says the toughest thing about playing center is learning the snap for the shotgun formation. Aikman throwing on first down, complete to Keith Jennings. And Jennings down to the 11-yard line of the Packers.
Doing a nice job of getting rid of the ball, not giving him an opportunity to get pressure on him, not giving him an opportunity for Tim Harris to get involved in the game and apply the pressure. Looks like the game plan is very, very similar to this. There's number 84 on the right of your screen. Aikman gives a little fake to hold the linebackers and slips Keith Jennings right in behind. Looks like a good, quick release type game plan passing-wise for the Cowboys. Stepnoski, the center, has stepped in, done a good job. His responsibility, control the middle. Don't let penetration by the nose tackle.
And another first down. This is 1st and 10 from the 11. Intercepted by Johnny Holland. And Troy Aikman trips him up at about the 32-yard line. So a Dallas drive is thwarted by the excellent defensive play of Johnny Holland, 3rd-year player out of Texas A&M.
Well, Troy Aikman had 10 in a row prior to that throw right there, JB. 10 straight completions. Tries to force one in on a quick slant-type pass right in there. Holland sitting in the middle right there. Reads it, drops back. Looks like Aikman never sees him. Thinks he has something working in there to Jennings. Holland, right place, right time for the turnover.
And the man who's nicknamed Mr. Anywhere, was indeed there.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Lite. America's favorite light beer brings you the Miller Lite All-Star Super Bowl game. Gold MasterCard, the best gold card to master the moment. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
I think that's a pretty impressive looking snowman.
That's a pretty nice looking snowman right there. And a big one, too.
And a pretty impressive play by that young man there.
It was a nice Christmas gift for Johnny Holland. You bet. The second interception since 1987 when he had 2, and comes up with his first one. Nice Christmas gift.
1st and 10 for the Pack. And Mikowski keeps the ball on the ground. 3-yard gain that time. Woodside stopped by Danny Noonan. And don't forget, coming up next, doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. It'll be the Chicago Bears taking on the San Francisco 49ers. There was some question as to whether or not Joe Montana was going to start. He is, in fact, going to play.
Well, I think it's important for Joe Montana to play. Even though he's been nicked up, it's important for him to keep his timing and his rhythm and to stay sharp going into the playoffs.
2nd and 7. This is Perry Kemp. Has the first down. And Perry Kemp with a good run across the 45 to the 47-yard line, a 12-yard run.
Well, they do a nice job of misdirection, and they get their guard out in front. They get 57. You're going to see 57, the left guard. The right guard, as you look at it from the back of the defense, he pulls. 57, Moran is going to lead Perry Kemp around to the outside, and good misdirection. When you get a team that has a good set of linebackers like Norton and like Lockhart, those guys that fly to the ball at misdirection, good call.
Part of that defensive platoon system by the Cowboys, David Howard on the tackle, and Jesse Solomon is in there. Players, of course, who came from the Minnesota Vikings. Play action by Mikowski on 1st down, decides to run it. And I see he's learned a little something from you, Snake, in our last conversation. He's learned how to at least slide. Maybe not picture perfect.
Well, I think after you get popped a few times by these guys, you figure out that it's a little bit smarter to slide and not take that abuse and not take the hits and the punishment that they deliver. And you're going to see right here, he does that. They play fake to try to hold things. Good job with the Cowboys secondary with the coverage situation, and then Mikowski scrambling for whatever he can get and good to slide.
Specifically, 5-yard run that time. Mikowski missed Wednesday in practice, just generally banged up. Tough game against the Bears. 2nd and 5. Mikowski complete to Woodside, and Woodside met immediately by Everson Walls. Now, Walls, of course, is playing backup free safety. He's in there. We talked with him, and he's really concerned about what the future holds for him.
Well, he is concerned. You know, they made the change from corner, and you get a guy that's been a 9-year Cowboy that is very, very comfortable on the outside at that corner position, and all of a sudden they say, you're now going to be a safety, and he really hasn't reacted very favorably to that situation and really questions his future with the Cowboys.
4-time Pro Bowler, as you've mentioned, very comfortable over on that side. 3rd and 3. Mikowski didn't get a good handle on it. We'll await the official signal as to who recovered.
The JB, they play out. Watch these safeties. Safety here. There's Walls, 24. Albright. Watch this. Safety blitz to try to get some pressure. Here they come. Try to get some pressure on Mikowski. Looks like he takes his eye off the snap, fumbles the snap. And then there's a mad scramble for it, and the Packers retain possession.
Packers did come back up with it, but an opportunity botched. Don Bracken on to punt for the Packers. And Boots Shepard back to the 6-yard line. And Shepard gets up to about the 11. And Shepard is holding that right ankle of his, a 45-yard punt, 7-yard return. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, with a plethora of possibilities still, I guess, on the menu for a number of teams, best way to synopsize here, San Francisco, of course, has the home field advantage. The Giants, if they win today, they'll clinch the East. Philadelphia, the Rams, Minnesota, they're in if they win today, and Green Bay will be eliminated with a loss. Green Bay recognizes that it needs a little help, and that help has to come from either the Rams or Philadelphia or Minnesota, of course, losing on tomorrow night.
And you know, James, with everything riding on this game, it means so much to Green Bay. And you watch them play out there right now, and it looks like they're a little flat. They don't seem to be playing with the type of emotion that it takes in a game like this with as much riding on the game.
And that's a little surprising because, again, we know they must win. Aikman, play action. Incomplete intended receiver was James Dixon. Philadelphia and Phoenix knotted up at 7. Raiders, your old team, ahead of the Giants 14-7. Art Shell, of course, needs a lot of help to get his team in, but the troops are playing well thus far.
Goes in and this changes the attitude of a group of players, same players that they've had all along, and changes the attitude with a group of players, and as a result, he's got them in a situation where they can possibly make the playoffs, but as you say, they need some help.
Detroit and Atlanta, nothing to gain playoff-wise, but Detroit certainly is playing extremely well down the stretch. 2nd and 10 for the Cowboys. Cornell Burbage in motion. Handoff to Broderick Sargent. And Sargent running hard up near the 20-yard line. He'll be about 2.5 yards shy of the first down marker. Gain of about 8. Stopped by Chuck Cecil.
James, they're giving him a lot of that old Washington Redskins counter tray type thing, a little misdirection to try to get those linebackers to step one way and then pull the tackle away from the play. In that particular case there, Mark Tuanay, number 71, pulled. A lot of misdirection from the Cowboys today.
And the report from the field, Derek Shepard did suffer a sprained right ankle, and we're not certain whether he'll be back in that. 3rd and 2 for the Cowboys. Ball at the 20. Down, Darrell Johnston, who left in the first quarter with a slightly extended, hyperextended knee, comes back running strong.
Well, you're going to see Tim Harris lined up on the outside over here. If they're going to go this side, nice job by left guard Nate Newton, number 61, left tackle Tuanay, 71. He splits the block, gets in the secondary before Mark Murphy can bring him down.
Mike Weddington comes on for the Green Bay defense, replacing Johnny Holland. Darrell Johnston, the lone back for the Packers. 3 make that the Cowboys. 3 wide receiver set. Now Blaze Winter is going to complain that he was drawn offsides. We'll see.
False start, 68 offense, first down.
That's Crawford Kerr.
Offensive line, along with every other position with the Dallas Cowboys, being evaluated very closely. You get a commodity like Troy Aikman, you're going to have to take good care of him. This offensive line has been shook up all year long with some injuries, situation like that. They're taking a good coach.
On 1st and 15, Aikman going up top, looking for James Dixon, overthrows him. As the clock continues to run, 5:07 remaining in the first half.
Well, Troy Aikman's been throwing the ball a little early most all afternoon or most of the first part of the game, and here's the reason why. He's getting pressure all the time. There you see number 59, John Anderson, coming on a linebacker-type blitz and forcing him to get rid of the ball much sooner than he would like. That's been this case all year long with Troy Aikman, having to rush everything.
2nd and 15. Packers with Tiger Green and Ron Pitsen, extra DBs. Aikman keeps it on the ground. Johnston. And Darrell Johnston runs hard across the 30 to about the 32. It's going to be about 5 yards shy of the first down marker.
Again, it's that misdirection running game that they've been using today, and it's pulling a guard, misdirection, or stutter step one way by Johnston, Darrell Johnston, the fullback right here from Syracuse. He steps one way, allows the guard, number 68, Crawford Kerr, to get out in front. It's working well against the Pack today. Darrell Johnston already 8 carries, 35 yards.
3rd and 6. 4 wideouts in for the Cowboys. Aikman pumps. Complete to Burbage, but Burbage is going to be shy of the first down marker. Good job by the veteran Mark Murphy, 8-year vet from West Liberty. So that'll bring on Mike Saxon to punt. And his troubles punting in cold weather have been well documented. Mentioned the last 2 games he's had punts blocked.
Well, every time he punts, we need to turn the heat up so he can get off a good one. Shanked one last time. Let's see what we get here.
Jeff Query back for the Packers. And Query takes it across the 20 to about the 22, a 47-yard punt, 5-yard return, stopped by Randy Shannon. Packers will have it when we come back. Moving game, but a low-scoring one, 3-3, and I'm sure Santa Claus will join us tomorrow on CBS Sports. A holiday celebration continuing at 2:30 Eastern Time with the Christmas Day Winter Sports Special. The World Junior Figure Skating Championships feature the USA's Olympic hopefuls and superstars of tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern Time. Then the NBA on CBS, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks. That'll be coming your way at 3:30 Eastern Time. Two tight end formation. Hands off to Brent Forward, and Forward running hard up to about the 27-yard line. 5-yard run by Forward. The Snake, not unusual at this time of the year for so many guys to be nicked up, and of course the Packers have had their fair share.
Well, that tells it right there. Fontenot, Tim Harris hasn't practiced in 3 weeks, and of course, as you documented earlier, Don Mikowski is just plain beat up from ribs to the bruises to a knee. Scott Stephen, Ed West has an ankle problem, and by the way, Ed West is an alternate to the Pro Bowl this year.
2nd and 5. Mikowski. This time throws it, and it's nearly intercepted. Dean Hamill, the man nicknamed the Tasmanian Devil, who came to the Cowboys in a trade with the Redskins, and the coaching staff is really impressed with his play.
Well, they alternated defensive ends. They've alternated some with Hamill, and trying to find the combination out of those 4 guys right there that they can get some pressure with. They haven't really been pleased with the amount of pressure that their down people, their down linemen, have been getting this year.
Talking with Hamill coming into the stadium here, he said he's really happy here in Dallas. It took him a moment to make the adjustment, but he's happy here and he thinks positive about the future. 3rd and 5. Mikowski for Perry Kemp, complete. And it looks to have enough for the first down. So Mikowski to Perry Kemp, 6-yard pass play, first down Packers.
Just a little short, sweet against the man-to-man coverage. Just a little slant-type route in there on your outside right here. Off the line about 5 yards. Quick slant. Very good against the man-to-man type coverage. It gives your quarterback an opportunity to get rid of the ball before the pressure gets there. And as a result, first down.
2:16 remaining in the first half. Ball game tied at 3 apiece. Philadelphia moved ahead of Phoenix 14-7. Giants and Raiders all tied at 14 apiece. Mikowski to Kemp again. This time it's incomplete. Isaac Hope literally draping him like a cheap suit.
Cowboys giving him a steady diet of that very, very tight coverage underneath. And underneath with deep help by their safeties. The guys underneath will run with them wherever they go because they know that they have help in the secondary from their safety type position. I think eventually Green Bay is going to have to challenge that Dallas zone and throw the ball down the field.
Dan Jiggins is fond of talking about tight coverage like that as tight as a mosquito's wrestling jacket.
Woo, that's tight.
That's tight. You'll walk funny like that. On 2nd and 10. Mikowski complete to Sterling Sharp, his first reception of the afternoon, and we're at the 2-minute warning as Sterling Sharp takes in his first pass. A 9-yard pass play. 3-all here in Dallas. With Bud Carson, head coach of the AFC Central Division champion Cleveland Browns. And Snake, we watched that game last night against Houston. What did you think about his play calling down the stretch?
I think the fact that they get Kevin Mack back gives them the opportunity to control the ball on the ground as they did late in the game. And you bring in Eric Metcalf. I think that's a good combination of powerful inside running, good outside running with Metcalf, and then of course Newsom and Slaughter and Kosar. Browns can be very, very tough in the playoffs. Count on it.
On 3rd and 1, Brent Forward got the call, and that should be enough for the first down. Indeed it is, as the clock continues to wind down. 1:41 remaining in the first half.
Mikowski's getting him into the hurry-up 2-minute offense.
Mikowski throwing in the direction of Sterling Sharp. He was a closer receiver. Jeff Query was back deep. Good pressure applied that time by Willie Broughton and Dean Hamill. And as I mentioned a few seconds ago, the Eagles move ahead of Phoenix. Not good news for Packer fans. Raiders and Giants all tied up at 14 apiece. And Rams nursing only a 3-point lead. 2nd and 10. Pack at its own 45. 1:30 remaining in the first half. Mikowski tries to take off and run and is wrapped up by Willie Broughton.
JB, I think you really have to be pleased if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan with what you see in the secondary and the amount of pressure that they're getting on Mikowski. Mikowski has plenty of time initially looking downfield. Good job of coverage in the secondary. Nowhere to go, and as a result, they get the sack.
Loss of 4 on the play, and Willie Broughton, who last year was selling cars, played for Jimmy Johnson in Miami. And I'm sure Johnson glad to have him back. 3rd and 14. Mikowski drills it. Looks to be complete to Aubrey Matthews for the first down. Inside the 45 at the 44, and a timeout called by Green Bay. 15-yard pass play. Mikowski hoping to see if he can get them in position to put some more points on the board.
Cowboys giving the Green Bay Packers a double zone. You're going to see the cornerback right here, zone off, deep help by the safeties. The vulnerable area is right here in the middle of that area. You're going to see Mikowski right here, number 88. You're going to see Aubrey Matthews find that area right in the middle of the field right there. Mikowski gives him time to sit down, throws the ball away from the defender, which was a nice throw on Mikowski's part for the first down.
Lindy Infante's squad has 2 timeouts remaining here. Dallas, full complement. Four wide receivers set on first down. And Mikowski going up top for Sterling Sharp. Snake, an absolutely unbelievable catch. Sterling Sharp over the shoulders, and they say he was inbounds when he caught it.
He's done it all year long, and he really hasn't made his presence felt early in the ball game. It's always been in the second half, but here they get the time. They bring safety. Mikowski reads it, knowing he's got man-to-man coverage, and throws the ball perfectly over the right shoulder. That's where that ball, over the left shoulder, to the outside, away from the defender, and just a great job of adjusting to the ball, finding the ball, and making the catch by Sterling Sharp.
A 29-yard pass play. And I guess they're reviewing this one upstairs, but Bill Parkinson upstairs reviewing this one as you take a look at Jimmy Johnson.
Well, we see right here, we're going to see him make the catch. There's the catch right there. Right foot in, left foot in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no question.
Absolutely.
Nice reception.
It's interesting because Sterling Sharp, certainly a very vocal one himself, always is talking to Coach Infante on the sidelines.
Well, Coach Infante says if you ever run into a receiver who didn't think he could catch the ball on every play, said Sterling Sharp stays in his ear the entire game of, hey, Coach, I can beat this guy. Hey, Coach, I can run by this guy. Coach, I own this guy. And, of course, Lindy Infante just lets it go in one ear and out the other.
After further review, the play will stand as called. It's first down.
Well, I'm sure many of the Green Bay fans know that Bill Parkinson is the same replay official that gave Don Mikowski that controversial touchdown, saying he did not cross the line in that first Chicago matchup.
Chicago Bear game, which was a good call, as was this one.
Mikowski on first down. Throws it complete to the sidelines to Perry Kemp. Well, no, they say he was out of bounds.
Well, I think the receiver, Perry Kemp, should realize where he is on the field and give him the opportunity. See how wide he is? Maybe sit down a little quicker. Leave yourself some room to the outside. There you see he catches the ball and his left foot is out. Good call.
Official all on top of that play. It's really amazing, though, as you talk about Sterling Sharp. He really does talk to anybody on the field, telling Coach Infante, yeah, I own this guy.
Enjoys himself. Has a good time out there.
Says he's never tight. 2nd and 10. 4 wideouts. complete to Query. Touchdown, Green Bay. May not have heard much about Jeff Query before the season, but the rookie from Milliken has come through with some big plays this year.
Good speed. Well, that's what happens when you play man-to-man, when you bring some safeties, as they did down there that time. They brought those 2 inside safeties. They showed that once earlier. You bring those people, you have to play man-to-man. Tough situation when you've got Query and Sterling Sharp and Perry Kemp. Puts a lot of pressure on your backs, defensive backs.
And Chris Jackie, perfect on 41 point afters. And Green Bay moves out in front by the score of 10-3. And Green Bay a little slow in starting in the first half, but not really unusual for this squad.
You see right here, they're going to bring this safety. Safety's going to come. There's a safety right here. It's going to come. When you do that, you're man-to-man out here with all these people. Puts a lot of pressure. Mikowski reads it, finds Query man-to-man hooked up on the outside. They get almost a pick-type situation out of Sterling Sharp. Nice throw by Mikowski. Good reception by Query for the touchdown. Milliken College, about 1,600 or so students there, and that particular one right there is a good receiver out of that 1,650.
Where we said the first packed house at Lambeau Field that he played for equaled the number of people that had watched him play throughout his career at Milliken.
Well, that's a nice Christmas present for that young man, too. Touchdown in the final game. Final game regular season.
I'm sure the Packers are playing minus the information of knowing what's happening with Philadelphia and LA right now. Most important is to take care of their own business. Chris Jackie gets this one off. It'll be short. Taken at about the 22-yard line by Scott Ankrum. And he's hit immediately and dropped. So the Cowboys, with 28 seconds remaining in the first half, will take over, try to get in field goal range at least. And don't forget, it's doubleheader Sunday here on CBS. Coming up next will be the San Francisco 49ers and the Chicago Bears. The Bears will be attempting to avoid their first 10-loss season since 1981.
Of course, San Francisco tuning up for playoffs. They'll have the home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Aikman back to pass. Complete to Junior Totolatasi at the 30.
Well, I think if they have a timeout, what they ought to do is spend the timeout right here, design something. There it goes right there. There's the timeout. Spend the timeout, go off the sidelines, come up with something that might help you get the ball down there. Well, there you see Jerry Rome, quarterback coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Very well-respected coach around the league. Was at Seattle. Got some very good years out of Dave Craig. And Troy Aikman really enjoys having that man around right there. A real good sense of security. He knows offense. And Jerry Rome's name has been brought up for a couple of coaching jobs, mainly the one with the New York Jets.
Of course, Jerry Rome did a great job in Washington with the quarterbacking core there. Troy Aikman back to pass. Going up top, looking for Keith Jennings, and it's intercepted by Ken Stills. So the Packers will close out the first half. 2 seconds remaining on the clock as Ken Stills comes up with his 3rd interception of the year.
Well, that's a tough situation there. Very, very deep. Very, very deep zone. Everybody knows what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to split some seam somewhere, right or left. There's the seam they try to hit. But when you've got your safeties playing that very, very deep prevent, that's tough.
Green Bay with 23 interceptions on the year as a team.
Yeah, I think we'll see the very same thing here. They've got their 3 wide guys to the right. JB, I'll look for them just to put it up, hope for an interference call, or hope for a miraculous catch.
Good call?
Yeah, I think it's the only thing you have left.
And Mikowski sacked. And that will close out the first half. Jim Jeffcoat, the man doing that, number 2 on the afternoon for him. That's the end of the first half with the score Green Bay 10, Dallas 3. Brent and Irv will join you at halftime in just a moment.